I said, hey yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Mohados, and we're back with another video. Except the market is absolutely ripping, and we're super excited, guys, because if you're not following me on Twitter, you're doing yourself a disservice, guys. If you just look, guys, everything that I've been posting in the past year, the past 3 months, guys, I mean, literally, we were right about the market all the way from the beginning. Literally, an OXO call, we shared it at 10 cents. It's currently trading at 50 cents. Right, H bar, we called it at the bottom, currently is trading at a 4x. Right, we look at KDA, we were able to snipe the top of this at the last bull market, and we were able to catch this trend up if you've been following long enough on my X account. And even over here, guys, demo, we bought it at 8 cents, guys, 10 cents territory. I shared it all here on my X account, and guys, it doesn't stop, guys. We caught this right before the move to the upside that took place over the past couple of days. All this stuff is free, guys. My Twitter is not private. Maybe I might take it private one of these days. But all this stuff is here so you guys can take advantage. And even DAG, guys, I mean, since February 25th, 2023, I've been sharing gems with you guys. And all these plays are minimum up 2x, guys. And, you know, the reason why I share this with you guys is just simply to keep a track record for myself, right? Like the document. But at the same time, I want you guys to get some value, whether you're following, whether you're learning something. I'm not giving you guys advice on how to trade. But at the same time, it's just to provide value, just so people can, you know, have a different understanding on how to approach these markets. FET as well. This was insane. I reshared an entry, guys. I was like, you know, on February 7th, like this is a key support level. It's trading at 55 cents. And today, it's trading above $3. Like, it's insane. And all this stuff is on my X account. It's links in the bio, guys. Is literally, if you just scroll through my timeline, guys, just scroll through it, you will see an insane amount of calls I have shared with you guys. And we've done extremely well throughout the bear market because we've accumulated high quality alts. And we are still, till this day, sharing altcoins that you can definitely take advantage of. Back over here since August 11th of 2022, when everybody was scared, I simply said, imagine the smell if we get into the range and consolidate, right? This is basically just showing that liquidity was taken from the high, liquidity was taken from the low. Anybody who's been watching this channel knows exactly what I'm talking about, because that remains the name of the game, right? All the liquidity was taken from the high. Everybody was thinking that we're going to new all-time high in 2021, got caught with their pants down, and then of course in 2022, everybody was screaming for extremely low figures, and we were able to actually snipe the bottom. All the proof is here on the YouTube channel. If you go back far enough on the Bitcoin analysis, you'll see that we were talking about how this is going to go higher. It's even a thread here on my X account just talking about how we're going to go much higher. And literally till this day, guys, I'm still on this thread just trying to prep everybody for the market going much higher. Now, yes, we are currently at a resistance, right? As much as I don't want to say it, as much as I don't want to believe it, this is the cold hard reality, right? This level is going to probably get rejected. We may go a little bit higher, but most likely what's going to happen is at this level, we may get rejected like this, or we may go up higher and get rejected like that. I don't know exactly how it plays out. In a dream world, it keeps going up, right? No pullbacks, right? In a dream world. But we're not living in a dream world. We're living in real life, guys. And at the end of the day, the bulls and the bears are going to try to trick you, especially in the bull market. The bears are going to try to shake you out of your positions because they want lower entries and only to go higher, right? And a prime example is actually right here, okay? Total actually made a high up here, and then it went lower, basically sweeping the liquidity at the lows before going much higher, which is basically the game that the bears play to shake you out of your position. So it's very important to understand that Total is extremely bullish as it stands. I'm very bullish on where it's going. So, you know, I think Total is going to continue going higher here. Now, the question is, you know, how much higher from here before we retrace? I don't have a clear-cut answer, but this is very bullish. I do think this is going much higher, and it's going to be fun to see this age, right? So we'll see what happens and how exactly it plays out. But again, it's just a matter of patience here, and we'll see how, of course, it plays out, because depending on the subdivision, depending on if the momentum is lost like we see here, that can definitely lead to us understanding that some type of correction is needed before going higher. So we'll see how that ages, of course. So Total looks very, very interesting. We're at a resistance. When we look at Total 2, we're actually ready to continue going higher, right? And we actually have been going higher. You know, this level itself, this blue box is a, I believe, 2-month. Let's see here. Yeah, it is a 2-month demand or supply zone. So basically at this level, this is a big order block. You can see here on the left-hand side. supposed to act as a resistance, which is why the first time we came to this level, we kind of had a rejection. And even over here, we had some sort of rejection that kind of came back around. So maybe we do get higher here, maybe a little bit, and then we retrace. We'll see exactly how it plays out. But ideally speaking, this is a very understandable level to pull back. And even for total 3, we currently are at this resistance. So, I wouldn't be shocked if we even get a little bit higher before coming down again. So we'll see what happens. It's just a reset across the board, the same way we saw over here in December. And again, it's just these ebbs and flows in the market, right? So we'll see what happens. Again, when you're running and you're doing a marathon, every single time you take a run, you have to take a breath while you're running, right? You have to stop at some point to take a breath to continue going higher, right? So it's the same way you could look at the market, the same way you can look at this momentum here to see how we can gauge the market in terms of how much higher things can go. Again, just looking at price action again, seeing if we're holding the EMAs, seeing the size of the candle, seeing the time of the candle, and how fast it moves to the upside are all things that we're looking at here to determine how strong the move is to the upside here. So that's that. Take a look at stablecoin dominance. This is pretty insane. We are at this level down here, and at this point, we've gone extremely lower than I anticipated, and there's a lot of momentum here at this level. This is, again, the 6-month demand zone, so I do expect a wick here at some point. I do not expect 5.4% to be I don't think this goes lower than 5.4%, right? This dotted line, or this line I have drawn, this horizontal ray, is probably going to be the low. And again, I don't want to say that because I would love this to keep on going, but it just does not make sense to keep breaking down here like this the way it is, because it is just absolutely insane. Again, I would love for this to keep breaking down, but this is a very understandable level to see some sort of pullback and price, again, turning back, people pulling their money back into stables the same way how we expect total here. Oops, wrong chart. The same way how we expect total here to pull back after going a little bit higher on total 2, total, and total 3, right? These all have that in common, that we're going to see some sort of pullback. So I do see somewhere in March even that we do see some sort of pullback for, I guess, crypto, where people increase their, stable coins that they're holding, right? So this is just, again, it's all of the top 3 stable coins combined in terms of percentage. So it does a very good job of catching the bottoms and tops across the board. So that is also a very good thing to look at when you're looking at this across the board. And I actually want to take a look at BTC as well. BTC is trading above the 3-week supply here. This is absolutely insane. Great momentum to the upside. I don't have a clear-cut gauge on what exactly to expect for Bitcoin. But right now, if you are someone in the market, the momentum is there for Bitcoin, right? You look at the weekly RSI, you see the price action, absolutely going nuclear. We see new high being posted on RSI. We don't have any sort of divergence here. So there's no reason to get bearish just yet, right? So until we see some sort of divergence, then we can start saying that things are getting bad. But as of right now, we have the ETF. We have a lot of narratives going for Bitcoin. I don't know exactly where Bitcoin is going, right? I'm not going to sit there and tell you that we're going to this number or that number. I don't understand exactly where we're going, and that is okay, right? A lot of people are expecting 100K plus, and that's fine. I am just using Bitcoin to gauge my altcoins, right? Because at the end of the day, Bitcoin is, again, the leader in the space. We must understand what the narrative is, because Bitcoin is the main narrative in the space, no matter if you disagree with it or not. We must understand what is happening with Bitcoin in order to understand what's happening across the market, because as Bitcoin is climbing here, again, these levels that we have indicated, again, green is a buy zone. If this wicks, if flash wicks at 52K, you should be buying. And it can even fall into 46 for a wick, but I don't know what would happen for something like that to occur. But these are just levels that I definitely would be interested in buying. Right now, we are hovering above the 3-week supply. So if you look here, this is, again, an order block that pretty much is holding above as we speak, the price itself. So we'll see what happens. Do we get a close? Do we not? We'll know in about 14 days. Again, if we see price continue going higher. And yeah, so keep things simple, guys. Keep things as simple as possible, and we'll see exactly how this plays out. Taking a look at Ethereum, this is another chart that I pay very close attention to. It is the next narrative here for crypto. And what we understand is that as Ethereum is running to the upside, something that we've shared here on X as well, guys, we were sharing Ethereum sub 1700 and sharing it even more at 1700, saying it's going to go much higher. Now we're trading at 4K, and it's kind of insane to believe what's happening. Of course, in May is a deadline for the SEC to approve the spot Ethereum ETF, which is going to send ETH even higher. So that's going to be fun because, again, when Ethereum is running, so are ERC20 tokens. So you can only imagine how much crazier things are going to get when these prices go higher. So again, I do believe that Ethereum is probably going to run a little higher and maybe even retest this area here, right? I think it makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, Ethereum does have more momentum here on the weekly. If you see about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles that are green in a row, that's not the case here for Bitcoin. We did have a slowdown here on this week. So I definitely see Ethereum doing better. ETH BTC is at this range right now that I think is going to continue to the upside. RSI is actually gaining momentum on the ETH BTC pair. So I think this is going to continue going much higher here. So we'll see exactly how that looks when the time arrives. And so again, ETH is going to outperform Bitcoin. Not really something that should shock you because of the diminishing returns on Bitcoin itself. So again, we'll see how this is going to play out. But my targets are basically all-time highs, guys, right? So I believe that since Bitcoin cracked its all-time highs, and as long as Bitcoin continues to trend up, there's absolutely no reason why Ethereum can't hit $5,000. Sounds crazy, but that is what it is, right? And again, one thing I want to share for XRP is this is absolutely insane because we've been consolidating here for 2,240 days, guys, right? And a lot of people may not understand the magnitude of this, but I just want to let you guys know that this is the most craziest pressure cooker you've ever seen in your life. There's absolutely zero charts in the top 10. All right, there's absolutely zero charts that have consolidated this long in the top 100 that has not breached all-time highs, that has not had SEC corruption and unfair rulings against them, and it's still ongoing, right? Technically, the SEC is still going after Ripple, which is affecting XRP because of the optics. Some people may not want to build on it. Some people don't want to do this and that on it, even though XRP won the ruling that it is not deemed a security, which is absolutely massive because it got relisted across all exchanges. It is the most craziest chart. And we are finally hitting a point right now where the chart has to move. There's no longer sideways price action. Technically speaking, if this gets rejected, yes, it is possible that it can fade until April. That is definitely possible, 100%. But right now, if we see some sort of candle breaking out above, I do not want to see a wick because we've seen wicks right here, 2 wicks back to back, another wick back to back here, and right here as well. I don't want to see a wick here. I want to see price closing above, getting above this level, because then I'm going to unfortunately be bearish because the last 3 times it came up to here, we weren't able to break it. I mean, the RSI does look interesting. Every single time we've wicked up here, we have made a higher high. So again, the momentum is to the upside currently, and we are trading above this green box, which is technically, again, the most critical level on the XRP chart. When price is trading above it, basically what you can assume is that it is going to act as a support. Okay, that's the name of the game, right? So since we're trading above it, we're in this triangle. I do believe we're going absolutely much higher. I don't know what's going to spark the narrative because, again, a lot of things are narrative driven, but I do believe that this is going to get ready to run. The chart is absolutely gorgeous, and if we start getting a run, guys, my targets are absolutely insane. I definitely think that $9 is a reasonable number to get to. A lot of people are aiming for 10, but that's a round number, so you might want to take profits before that if you're listening to this, and we'll have to see what happens. And yeah, XRP is very interesting in the top 10. And I want to share, guys, the gold chart. So this is absolutely insane. Gold, I've been talking about, is doing extremely well. When gold is doing well, sometimes it shares an inverse relationship, even though right now the stock market is kind of correlated in terms of, going up. But generally speaking, since the beginning of the gold chart, I would like to say that is definitely inversely related. So we'll see what happens. And the only reason I track gold, guys, is because I'm definitely interested in gold. Gold is something that I hold, and gold is something that is going to continue rallying whether we like it or not, because of how many central bankers own it, and they kind of control the system. And we'll just have to see exactly how this is going to play out. because again, this is a massive candle here. 5% is actually a lot for the gold bugs, even though it doesn't seem like that much. I hold gold, and I like to track the charts because there are some interesting relationships across the board for gold and crypto and the rest of the market. So we'll see what happens. But that's gold. The DXY has had a absolutely horrible time, and this is actually drawn from last week, guys. If you look at the last week's update, we spoke about how this breaking down is absolutely massive for crypto. We want to see this break down. We want to see this go even lower, because that is a great sign. If we end up going higher, that is not a good sign. But right now, it's very clear that we're going lower, and I think this is going to be very interesting because again, if we can take out the low down here at 100, that would be absolutely amazing, because that means that there's even more room for crypto to run. So something that I'm watching out for, something that is all very, very correlated, whether we like to agree with it or not. The S&P is on a rampage, going all the way up to its highs here. And again, I do think some sort of retest needs to happen here, but this is just like vertical, right? Like, it's pretty insane. I do see some sort of correction back down at the 8 EMA somewhere down the line. We'll see exactly when that happens, but we did see a big sell-off for Nvidia, which is has got a lot of people scared because of the AI narrative. But again, like I said, as long as we're holding above this 8 EMA here, this is probably the #1 thing that I would like to watch out for. Not that I care about Nvidia exactly, but I do track it because I do think that the AI narrative in crypto is playing a very big role in that as well. So we'll see what happens. And then I want to share some altcoins that are doing extremely well. Rari I just shared, so by the time you're watching this video, this is probably going to be much higher, aiming at $5, then $10, and then potentially going back to all-time highs depending on the momentum. But you guys know my rule, guys. We have a lot of consolidation. Retrace it to 61.8. This is about to go absolutely nuclear. We're probably going to see this run much higher here, right? So we'll see what happens. I am excited for this run to the upside. I also do think demo that I've been sharing on my X account is going to get ready to run. Again, we're trading above the 8 EMA. RSI is running up. We're going to see a big candle to the upside all the way up to $1 sometime soon. And then Root as well. This is another coin I shared on X. What we saw was a 61.8 retrace from the lows here all the way up to the highs, holding above that level, an algorithmic level, and then the rally to the upside, guys. This is how I catch my rallies. I just look at the 61.8 after a long consolidation and then a run to the upside. H-bar did a very nice job of retesting its highs here. This is the range I've shared on X. We've been talking about the low for forever now. And basically, resistances turn into supports and vice versa. This level was a resistance for a long time, but for the first time it flipped on March 4th here, and now it is acting as a support, pushing price to the upside. So we'll see what happens. FET as well has had a magnificent run. I do think this is going to run back down to maybe 246-ish. We'll see exactly what happens, but this is a very clean chart. I do think there's more upside here. So we'll see what happens, but very, very clean charts. OXL, very, very bullish. Wave 3-like structure, pushing to the upside. Crown as well. It's not on trading view, but I do think this is getting ready to go to $5. This is a very, very clean chart. Market cap is extremely low. Volume is falling during the correction, and I do think that this is some type of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're probably in the 5th wave, but this looks like the first part of it that we're probably going to start running up to $5. GPU is an AI token, so again, I'm sharing a bunch of tokens here that can be risky, may not be around in the next, who knows, year or two, but basically it's similar to Render in terms of renting out your GPU power. But it's a much smaller token, much smaller team, and that's kind of why I'm interested, because the narrative is there, and we'll have to see what happens. KDA as well. I'm sharing a bunch of setups here for you guys so you can understand how we've been able to place some of these. And again, we re-enter this range. We're holding above this support level, and I think we're going absolutely much higher. So there's a lot of setups, guys, across the board. It's just about, again, watching out for them, paying attention to what's happening, and again, just having some confidence. And listen, a lot of you guys, I get some DMs here and there from my friends and family, and from you guys, like, interested in getting trading, guys. You can start an account with a very little amount. You don't have to go crazy, but I encourage looking at the high time frames. Like, a lot of people ask me, why am I on the weekly time frame, Mo? Why am I streaming on the weekly time frame? Because when you can understand the weekly time frame, guys, you can see, like, for example, this level is the main support level, right? And then it flips into resistance. but then it flips back into support, and when it holds it, it's very obvious where price is going. It's very obvious to track the chart and understand, you know, what's going to happen next in terms of how these things move. So right now, again, we're doing very well. We're holding above this level. We bounced off the 8 EMA, and I do think we're going up to $1 sometime soon for Woo. So that's in the cards, but that's probably the last point of resistance before we have some sort of pullback. But again, when you look at Woo BTC, I think that it's going to get ready to do extremely well because, again, like I've said, we have a long range here, went up, pulled back to the 61.8 range, and now the question is, how hard are we going to run to the upside? And that's probably going to be, you know, predicated off of the momentum off this current level, right? So are we going to run? How hard are we going to run from here? What exactly does the structure look like? We'll have to see. But again, we saw this massive wick being reclaimed, lots of buyers stepping in. So I am very excited for what's coming next. So with that, guys, thanks for making it to the end. Like and subscribe if you had not already. And as always, haro haro haro. Peace.